This morning we have time to sleep because yesterday the game was finishing around 11 or 12 o'clock. We have dinner and it's no chances to sleep in that moment, so now we slept. We go walk a little bit for shopping, just watch around because it's close to the hotel. And then we go to meeting, then practice, and I think we go to see the game.
On the bus is just talk about games and how other teams play, but usually we don't have that long bus trips. Most is in a hotel spending time.
Like Mari said, you got to stay professional and try to get your rest because you're going to need it down the road. So, you know, of course we'd like to go out and see the cities that we play in, but mostly we'll have to go back when we're older so we can really tour them.
It's interesting to see how they play. Bilbao, we played twice already. Interesting to see what kind of style Zadar is playing, but we're concentrating on tomorrow's game, so we're not really paying attention yet what's going on. We need to concentrate for tomorrow.
When I watch these players, I'm more looking at my position, you know, players, how they're playing, you know, and what the bad sides and the good sides for them, you know. Because in the future, maybe I'm going to play against them. It's going to be easier to guard them and to play offense against them.
Last 10 years, usually I watch our games as a coach. It's difficult to watch just like spectators with a beer. Yeah? So we are looking because if we win tomorrow, after tomorrow we got one of these teams, so we must know what style they're playing.
Well, there you saw the Rytas team on their day off preparing for one of the biggest games of the year and one of the biggest games in their club history, trying to become the first team to repeat a Eurocup triumph. And now we get a chance to find out what the type of team they're going to be facing. The youngest team in the competition, 4 world junior champions. This team is just young and fearless.
I'm Stefan Markovic.
Marjanović Boban.
I'm Milan Mačvan.
Hemofarm Style.
Well, there's some happy Hemofarm players after the huge upset over Moscow. Let's see what Marton Beda, the Hungarian, thinks about the whole situation they're in now.
This generation is a very strong generation, like usually every generation of Serbia. But these 3 players, this is a really good thing that they are playing in the same team and they are competing with the best teams in Europe, let's say in Eurocup and also in Adriatic League, and they can show they can play against anybody. 3 different type of players. Markovic showed that he's a playmaker. He's the first playmaker of the team. He can organize really well, and he can show this against very good teams. Match one, he got the trophy, Rising Star Trophy of Eurocup. I think this also speaks for itself. And Bobby Marjanovic, I think, is one of the biggest talents in Europe now. He's only 20 years old. He's 220 tall. He's really strong. I think he got a really good body for the basketball.
Well, both teams went to watch the other quarterfinals yesterday, and let's see Coach Rytas about what he thinks about this team.
Because they play together a long time, so they better understand each other on the court, and I think these players are the future.
Well, this young team getting ready for one of the biggest nights of their professional careers. Well, here you are back in the gym here in Turin with Hemofarm from Serbia, Lietuvos Rytas from Vilnius in Lithuania, the two protagonists in the first semi-final. Only 3 games left in the Eurocup season. So many weeks of games here on Eurosport 2, and it's down to the last 4. And here's the Rytas team. One of the things we said earlier on in the broadcast, these teams represent 4 of the biggest basketball nations in the world. Rytas from Lithuania, Hemofarm from Serbia, and later on tonight, we're going to see Bilbao from Spain, and we're going to see Khimki from Russia. 4 of the biggest countries in world basketball, and in Lithuania, this sport is a religion. They'll be herded round TVs now in Vilnius. There won't be anyone shopping at all in that big city in Lithuania. They'll be watching their team trying to put Lithuanian basketball on the map again in a European competition. And don't forget, Rytas trying to become the first team to win this level of European competition for a second time. And we're going to get a chance to look at their roster now. And with me, as always, Martin Henlon. Martin, look at the names on that list. Chuck Eatson, the MVP, but a group of strong Lithuanians.
Well, you stole my thunder there, Mark. Chuck Eatson is the guy, the superstar of this team. But you're right that both squads built around domestic talent, and it's the Lithuanian heart and soul of this team. You hear it, the passion that stands the fans, but it's the group players that make the difference.
Well, we're going to go down to Karina courtside with Coach Rytas.
Hemofarm knocked out Dinamo in the quarterfinals, one of Eurocup favorites. Does that scare you?
No, so we respect the team. Hemofarm is a good team, but we are ready to fight against them also.
Did you notice any weaknesses in Hemofarm's game that could help you to beat them today?
So I think we will give a pressure. We will be very aggressive today on defense, and I think it helps us.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Well, that's Coach Rytas. Clearly, he thinks he's got a favourite's chance in this game. Rytas have been in these European finals before, but it's these young guys in the orange kit from Hemofarm, in Versace in Serbia, and they are stacked with some of the best young talent in Europe. And there's the roster, Martin. Who jumps out at you?
Yeah, well, Mark, obviously, you know, how many features have we done in the last couple of years about the demise of Eastern European basketball? And look, Serbia back in the ascendancy, Lithuania, and look at this group here. 4 kids who were on the under-19s winning the World Championship that we covered here on Eurosport 2 summer before last. Markovic is the key guy for them, the point guard. He's the guy who's leading the way. But, of course, it's the lead coaches who put this team together.
And here is that coach on the side of the court with Robbie.
Stephen, you managed to beat Dynamo Moscow. You're into the semi-finals. Are your players confident going into this match against Rytas?
Yes, it is a victory very important for my young team, and we have confidence, but today will be a big fight. Lietuvos very strong team, and we must repeat play like Dynamo.
And you need to play like tigers out there tonight against Rytas. Did you have some good rest yesterday, your players?
Yes, but yesterday we prepared a game and everything about tactic, a lot of meeting, and like usually.
It's difficult to play against a team like that who've got some very good shooters.
Yes, very good shooters. The Lietuvos best offensive team in Eurocup. They have a lot of shot for 3 points, and I think very tough game for us.
Steven, thank you very much. Quali, and good luck for the match.
Thank you.
Wow, 2 coaches, both really experienced guys. They've been around at the top level of European basketball for so many years, coaching national team age group teams, coaching the top club teams. Get a quick shot of the referees, and as we always say when Martin and I are commentating on these games, that these are some of the best officials in Europe. This is the last time we really want to be picking them up. The best referees are the referees you don't notice during the game, and there's 3 of the best in Europe that we've got refereeing tonight's game.
And the key in this, Mark, none of these officials refereed either team in the quarterfinal, so it's a new, fresh face, a clean slate for all the players with each of the officials, and that's a great sign. Great organisation by the ULEB to get this tournament set that way.
Well, that's a great thing. There's nothing carried on. It doesn't matter what a referee will say. There's always going to be something carried over if they've either good or bad as they've had the games before.
Well, that's assuming that the referees don't talk to each other.
That's true.
I'm sure it's a really well-organised competition, and we keep going on about how fantastic it is. Now, lucky we've been to cover this throughout the year on Eurosport 2. This competition, it really is one of the pinnacle of international basketball.
Well, as it's at the pinnacle, Martin, there's some keys here that we get a chance now before the starting 5s come out to get a look at those starting 5s, to talk about these 5s and some of the keys to the game. But here's the starting lineups.
Well, a key matchup, Mark, we know is going to be what Hemofarm does about number 13 for Lietuvos, Rytas, the team from Lithuania, Chuck Edson, the one American on that team. But for me, the battle's going to be in the middle. Match Van, the number 13, and 20, Marjanovic. What do they do against Petravitus, the monster who had such a terrific game for Rytas in the quarterfinal? Can they negate that rebounding power with their youth and their energy? And then what we already talked about, it's Markovic, who probably will have to try and guard Edson early on and stop him from having another MVP-like game tonight.
Well, that's an interesting stat. We talk about the fact that it's homegrown talent, an entire European-born roster. There's only 2 guys from outside of Serbia. Beda, the Hungarian, and Joksimovic, the Slovenian. Another Slovenian. We talk about Slovenians every time we get together. Rytas, as we said before, the first club with a chance to win the ULEB Cup, Europe Cup for the 2nd time. To me, I think one of the keys here is, can that backcourt of Hemofarm get that points tally ticking over? They were way over their season average for points in the quarterfinals.
Well, we talked about this in each of the quarterfinals that you and I have covered together. You're looking for the player that can be the difference maker. Rytas undoubtedly have got one of those in Chuck Edson. But Bilbao, we saw last night, without a clear superstar, a collective effort, they persevered and came through. I'm concerned tonight for Hemofarm that they don't have somewhere they can really rely on. They do have one young man, and we've already mentioned his name, number 13, Milan Matchvan, but he's so young. If that kid can step up and live to the ability, then I'll bend down on my knees to him now. The favourites tonight are Rytas, but I think this is another game that you can throw the stats out, the 5 points by which Rytas are favoured. I'd take them if I was a Hemofarm fan. Heads up, this game could go very close very quickly. How cool does he look?
Well, he's always, for me, and he's only been there for like 4 months, joined the team halfway through the season, but what he's done, and I think you made the point in the quarterfinal, he's taken them back to what's good about Lithuanian basketball, the spreading of the floor, the emotion, just the sheer hard work that these guys put in, and that's what Lithuanian basketball as a religion is really. And
I'll say this, and Mark, the other thing that we haven't touched on at all with Rimas Kurtinaitis, okay, he's relatively new to the high-level coaching ranks, but in Lithuania, he's a legend. He played on the great Lithuanian teams with Arvydas Sabonis, Sarunas Maršalonis. Now, this guy is poster boy in rooms across the country over there. One of the best three-point shooters in the history of the game. Ice running through his veins, so cool and collected. He's got the ultimate respect of all his players and really excited.
Semi-final action in the Eurocup. Rytas in the light white, the grey off-white colour, and Hemofarm in orange. A place in the Eurocup final at stake, and it's Hemofarm from Versace in Serbia, who control the basketball. Magvan on the inside, surely will score, and does. Let's put that down to Martin. And would the young man step up? First play of the game.
Well, that's important because in the quarterfinal, he got hit first play of the game and didn't play at all very much in the first half. If he plays 25, 30 minutes, they talk about the young rising star of the Eurocup. He really is one to watch for the future. Doesn't do anything to get you excited about, but the numbers and wins and great performance. But this guy here is important as well, Mindaugas Lukauskas. We haven't even mentioned his name yet.
Well, one of the stars of that season here on Eurosport 2. First game we covered, he just lit it up at home, and he starts this semi-final with the first 2 points for his team. Great backdoor pass, super layup by Joksimovic, and it's 4-2. And Hemofarm showing no nerves.
And as I expected, Mark, Hemofarm extending their defensive pressure early on, trying to take Chuck Edson out of his rhythm, force the other guys to handle the ball, but this is where they can really cause some trouble.
Edson hit on the arm as he faked by Joksimovic, and interesting to see that match up there. Joksimovic, the Slovenian, has done an excellent job for his team. He's one of the more experienced players at 27 on this team. He takes the average age way up there for 23 as a team. Beautiful pass on the inside. Petrovikas on the reverse layup. Gets two. Both teams inside early.
I like the way both teams have gone to their game plan early on. Early doors, Magvan for the layup, Petrovikas for the layup. You can see this game's going to be much more open than some of the quarterfinals saw last night. And it's amazing because normally it's such a tense time of the year. These matches will be in the 60s. It's wide open. Both teams shoot exceptionally well. I think we're in for a real barnstormer.
Wow, Kostovic put it on the floor. Really quick from the perimeter. Gets to the basket, gets fouled. He will go to the free throw line. Had a great great quarterfinal. 16 points in that game. All the people who are supposed to touch the ball early for Hemofarm have, but that's unusual. He's, well, in fact, the only thing he was bad at in the quarterfinal was his free throws. But the good thing, Martin, everyone who's supposed to touch the ball early in the game has done.
They've got the ball to everybody's hands. They've played so far above themselves, both of these teams in the quarterfinals, to reach this stage that there really isn't a lot of pressure on them. So I'm expecting both teams to play well. I'm surprised Krstovic missing both free throws early on. You know, they'll probably make the next 20.
Rytas, floor spread. Zavakas looks backdoor off the foot. They'll get a new 24-second, and he's one of the people I expect to have a better semi-final. Zavakas he did well on the points tally, but he's very good mid-range shooter normally. Didn't do a great job from that spot the other night. But he
missed a lot of shots, yes, he did.
Superb penetration, almost, and it was out of bounds. Yeah, I thought so.
Wow.
Marjanovic, the big boy Bobby, as he was called. We'll call him Bobby tonight. I think his teammates are calling him Bobby. Marjanovic stepped out of bounds, and when you're 2 meters 22, that's a long way down.
7'4" in old money.
That's literally a little bit bigger than 7'4", just under 7'5". He's a big boy.
Yeah, and make the most of what you see of him at this level, because he's got EuroLeague or NBA written all over him. He's a really strongly talented young player.
Eatson gets his own rebound, goes up, turns in the air, gets the two. Chuck
He's
Eatson.
So good. He is so good, Mark. And this is why you like Rytas, and you like the chance of the boys from Lithuania. He's so talented. He does nothing great. He does a lot of things well, as does this man.
Oh, great follow by the big boy as Magvan smoothly to the hoop. But Mr. Lab and Marjanovic, well, he doesn't have to reach far to throw it down, but he's so active for a 222 man.
To show how high he didn't jump, then you couldn't have slid 2 sheets of paper under his shoes on that dunk.
Superb penetration by Lukauskas, but it's turned over. Chance, this is what Hemofarm are good at. Bodies down the floor. 3-on-2, well executed fast break. That'll be basket, good on the tendon. The ball was on its downward flight to the basket as Eatson blocked it, so therefore the basket counts.
That's a statement play, though, Mark. He knows he was blocking that, but he's saying, look, we're not laying down from you young kids. They're trying to be the men on the floor. They're trying to say, okay, young boy, get out of my way. And you can see that's why they got to get to Petrovikas early. Get at the ball. That's great play. And see, this is the testosterone oozing on the floor. This is Rytas establishing themselves and saying, look, young boys, you're talented, your day will come, but today, this is what we're about.
Marjanovic just suckered into that foul with the really nice ball fake by Petrovikas, and he's got to complete the and one play.
And early on in the season, Mark, Coach Karadzic would have taken Marjanovic aside and say, look, son, you're 2 meters 20. You don't need to jump for anything. Just stand straight up in the air. But at this point in time, energy's going. You can see how hyped up they are. And he's trying to block every shot. And it's just a great start to this game.
Well, Markovic controlling things for Hemofarm. And we've got a foul the other way again. They're asking for the travel. They got the travel.
They got the travel. And the no-look pass on the pick and roll there. Who dropped that off to him? As Krstovic. Okay, that's nice, but that's not what Marjanovic is good at. That play you run with match van, but there, Krstovic, he needs to be looking to finish the play. Take the shot. Let Marjanovic get the offensive rebound, because that's where he's effective.
Lukauskas goes to Edson in the post. Nice footwork. Yeah, tremendous step through, but he didn't make the two.
And Mark, I have to say this. It's unrealistic for Chuck Edson to come up with another massive game like he did, 23 points, 8 boards in the quarterfinal. So I'm not surprised if he doesn't make a few shots. You know, the games come in peaks and troughs. But we did talk about this earlier on. If they guard him with a guard, if they put a point guard on him, will he go to the low post? And he went and missed, as did Krstovic there, missing the layup.
Well, they gave the basket interference again for, let's have another look. It's a beautiful backdoor cut. Yep, hit the backboard, little bit of contact, touched the net. So that's 2 points there for Hemofarm.
Well, you see Chuck Edson pointing to his head there. He's yelling at Petrovitus and saying, call the back screen out, because that's how Krstovic got so open. Edson got screened at the free throw line.
Oh, that's
nice screen. Got to dunk that. Got to dunk that.
Edson goes up, stays with it, goes after it again. Marjanovic gets the rebound. Edson's going to ask for the foul, but he's not going to get it.
He's going to commit it, isn't he? Now, I did Petrovitus there, took the great load post screen there. Edson got him open, and Petrovitus missed the letter. Wow, they've called the offensive foul.
Well, they have. They've called the swinging elbow on Bobby Marjanovic there, and that's the foul count real quick on him is not good. They've called it unsportsmanlike. Well.
Yeah, Chuck, you didn't deserve 2 free throws for that one.
Well, that's that sort of stuff. I don't really see him extending his elbow. He swung him a little bit, but well, there's a saying that some coaches use, and unfortunate that sometimes that the ball never lies, and they haven't come up with the 2 points there for the unsportsmanlike. And just got a clip there of the fans from Rytas as well. And there's more that, as we said after the game, there's a few people who've got in their cars and made the long drive from Vilnius. Probably done it all the way through Germany and however else they've managed to get here. And that crowd has swelled. It's a religion. There's the long three is off. And Marjanovic comes down with a rebound. Joksimovic leads the break for Hemofarm. Pulls it out. Markovic will control things. Not many sets here. They'll just spread the floor, get the high post pick, move off the screen. Marjanovic goes to the keyway. Well, good double team. Eaton's got to collect and finish, and Markovic will be called for the foul. Sloppy. I think that's the first time I've said that about Hemofarm.
Well, I like the double team on the pick and roll there. They weren't expecting that. And the lead past Chuck Edson. He's not that quick, though.
Well, early action has favoured Rytas here. They're going to, with these 2 free throws, they should get their noses back in front. If they make both, they'll go to 11-10 with just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Edson restores Rytas's lead. It's been a story really so far, though, Martin. Hemofarm executing in the half court, back screens, creating open shots. Rytas answering that with a double team.
Yeah, but Mark, I think you've got, in this game so far, you've got 2 teams that came into the quarterfinals with nothing to lose. They both won, and now they're sitting here in the semi-finals, and the pennies dropped. They're thinking, hold on a second, we could mess around and be the European Eurocup champions here. So there's a little bit of tightness that snuck into the game early on. Very aggressive defensively, both of them, and that's why it's a little bit fractured. And you've had a couple of criticisms of Hemofarm's play. I'm actually more relaxed at the moment if I'm Coach Karadzic, because things aren't going our way and we're only down by 1.
All right, in the half-court, good movement. Macban goes to the three-point line. Tremendous defensive rotation. And that man Danis comes off the bench and gives them a little bit of spark. Long three, way off. Marjanovic pulls down the rebound. He's going to wander down the floor, the big boy, at 2:22. He'll put himself in the low post after the ball movement. But here's Joksimovic. Comes off the high post screen. Double team again. That double team is really starting to create a few problems for Hemofarm.
Well, they've got to adjust and recognise it's coming every time. The thing, there's great benefits having a guy like Marjanovic because he's so big and he's great defensively, as we've seen so far. But the opportunities, likewise, on offense, he doesn't give you a lot. So Petrevicius can almost play like a centre half or centre fielder in baseball, where he's got plenty of space. And this kind of thing shouldn't happen. He should be able to just clean up and protect the basket and protect his other players. That's why they can double team on that pick and roll. But he's got to box out. You're not going to out-jump somebody who can stand on his tiptoes and grab the ring. He's a monster in there at the moment, Marjanovic, and should have really converted the offensive rebound. And it's Hemofarm on the end line, trailing 10-11. Rytas with the early advantage here. Markovic will pull it out. He's such a backcourt general as Markovic. Calls to play. Finds Makbang wide open, turns it down. Marjanovic has gone to the inside and he's fouled on the catch. It's a tough matchup for anybody. Martin, you've played inside. How do you deal with that size? You've got to be strong. You've got to push him one step further away than when he's comfortable. He catches the ball down on the low post, you're in trouble, especially if he's been coached well enough, as this guy obviously had, to pivot, see the whole floor. You've got to push him a step out. You've got to be strong. And then when you want him to make him dribble the ball, he will not beat anybody dribbling the basketball. That's like when he bounces the ball, it's taller than most people. Like 4 or 5 feet in the air. So what you don't do is just turn around, as he did that time, turn around and dunk on your head. Well, the other little bit of a weakness that Marjanovic has is he's not the best free throw shooter in the world. You can see the technique's not the best. He's only a 60% free throw shooter, so often it's probably wasting you say wasting, but using it. The guy gets he is drawing fouls, but then again, would you be upset, would you be surprised to hear that Marjanovic is not a world quality ballroom dancer either? Well, maybe you can get in the Serbian version of great that play. Show. Great play there, and it's good that by Bobriauskas stepping up and making that strong drive. They're not intimidated by the big boy in the middle. Christoph gets it to Markovic. Nice spread of the offense here by Hemofarm. Joksimovic goes to the basket, will try and finish, wraps it around, nice pass. Whoa, strong finish by Makban. He wants to foul. He's just so strong under the backboard. Excellent finish, nice pass for Joksimovic. And Rytas just the 1-point lead. Danis with the basketball. Looking inside, here's Petrovikas. Goes baseline, nice help on the baseline, but again, reverse layup. He's having another good one. Hey, Mark, big boys come to play in big games, and the trees on the floor, Petrevicius and Marjanovic, having a ding-dong battle out there. Here's Joksimovic off the high post screen. They're exploiting that. Pull up with a short 2-point jump shot, and it will be a Hemofarm basketball. It comes off Lukauskas. Lukauskas did well to stay in that play there, because if he hadn't got involved in the play, Bobby Marjanovic would have come up with an offensive rebound and almost certain 2 points. We're talking a lot about the Marjanovic because he's so big at 2.22 taking his first break. But of course, he's normally the backup center. They're missing their big man in great defense. Vukas Sabejevic. Yeah, that's 15 points a game they're missing. So Marjanovic has stepped up big. And now he actually is saying that he can dance a little bit. But he stepped up really well, and you like the way that this team has just adjusted so well to losing their other big man. Well, the reports we saw, Vukas Sabejevic says he's available to play, so he didn't play a minute in the quarterfinal. Let's see if we see him later on. Nice pass to the inside. Good stance by Makban, made him go over, but good finish, excellent finish over the top. Miko Bilica comes up with the 2, 17-12. Rytas starting to establish a little bit of lead here in the first quarter with 2:26 to go. And as we've gone to the substitutions here, Petrevicius has had a solid start. Marjanovic has been good. But Bjelica brings more to the game than Martin Bader does for Hemofarm. And that you saw that when he made the layup at the other end. Bjelica, the Serbian big man, he adds a lot. In fact, he's probably as the foreigner, he's the guy you expect him to give big numbers. They had a quiet night in the quarterfinals, but he was efficient, and that's one of the benefits here. The bench is stronger for Rytas. Let's see if they can maximize the impact of that as Markovic trying to complete the free throws and makes number 2 of those. And Stefan Markovic
Well, you're going to hear that name a lot for the next few years. He was one of the 4 members of that World Championship winning team. They just know how to produce players in Serbia, and he is one of the keys to this game. Edson, after a short rest, comes in, and Lukauskas sits down.
Yeah, we've seen the triangle out there. Markovic at the point, Matchvan at the 4, and Marjanovic at the 5. That is the future of Serbian basketball. You'll hear those names collectively. If not this summer in the Eurobasket, then certainly next summer at the World Championships, where Serbia re-established itself as a world power.
Well, Martin Beda announces himself with a foul, and then we'll send Rytas to the free throw line as both teams are in the penalty now. Both teams committed more than 4 fouls, and so each foul now results in 2 free shots.
And worrying thing here, Mark, is remember last night we had Bilbao, and we were saying that don't lose the game because you're missing free throws. And how many free throws now is that Rytas have missed so far? That's 3 they've missed.
Oh, and Samovas, and he didn't see a lot of playing time the other night. He doesn't do a great job from the free throw line regularly. But anyway, 18-14. Markovic penetrates, kicks, great rotation. Lukauskas again keeps it alive. Edson passes off. Atsimovic gets it. No, it's followed by Velika, who got down the floor to give him the 2 points. 20-14. Rytas with a 6-point lead in the first quarter.
It's the guys who didn't play in the quarterfinals for Rytas. Bjelica, Anisimova, they're getting the touches and they're coming up with the goods at the moment, particularly defensively.
Wow, Macvan. Pass was there to Martin Beda, but he just didn't execute it. Nice penetrate. Dennis is so quick. Kicks it out. Barauskas thinks about it and pulls the trigger on a 3, but that's off, not in rhythm. It's Gustav's making the way down the floor. Looking inside, Macvan was in the block, but they pulled it out as Kristovic decides not to look early. Bad pass, and it's Rytas' defense that's causing the problems. Edson with the dunk, gets the 2, timeout with 1:06 to go in the first quarter, 22-14, and Hemofarm have just lost a little bit of rhythm on that offense.
Well, lost a bit of rhythm on offense, but you've got to credit the defense and intensity of the men from Vilnius. That time, Anisimova, you saw Chuck Edson giving him the big chest bump there. Great intensity on defense there, and there he is, the young kid who's come up at a DMP, did not play a second in the quarterfinal, coming up with 2 or 3 big plays here.
Well, this Coach Kiranitis has really prepared his team. They have that day off. We talked about that in our preparation for the game. These teams have had the day to prepare for each other. We saw the clips before the game. They had a day to relax, that have looked at some tape, that have prepared. So these teams would have had time to really scout each other.
And when you talk about, Mark, day off, it's a bit of a misnomer because they had an intense day yesterday. The morning was a bit like they'd had a shoot-around practice before the other protagonists had had their main practice. Then they had it pretty light, but they'd had an intense video session in the evening because it's all about preparation for the other team. And you can see that they are credited from top to bottom. Every player's ready, and it's great that the bench players are coming through so big.
Well, just coming up the last minute of the first quarter, first semi-final here in Turin in the Eurocup, and then it's Rytas from Vilnius who lead 22-14. Hemofarm needed the timeout they've just taken, and Joksimovic misses the layup. Rytas numbers down the floor, 4v3, gets to the basket and is fouled. That's a tremendous effort going to the basket. Pushed it, no one stopped Babrauskas, and he just kept going to the hoop.
Yeah, and that's one thing you just mentioned. Nobody stops him. You must stop the basketball. You're obliged to stop the guy who's pushing it. One of the guards of Hemofarm's got to get in the way, slow him down, make him pick the ball up. Otherwise, it gets you in all sorts of trouble.
Well, this could give Rytas a 10-point lead with just under 50 seconds to go. Markovic, I don't think, has taken his shot yet. Macvan started strong. He's had a couple on the inside, but Hemofarm have struggled in the last 3 minutes of this first quarter. It's important now with Pavkovic at the point that they get some offense going. They get that scoreboard ticking over. Here's Joksimovic. Guarded. There's no help. He doesn't want to take Edson to the basket. Pavkovic comes off the high post screen. Puts it on the floor. He's going to pull the trigger on this one. Macvan for 3. Oh, nothing at all, but fresh air.
I'm glad you recognize that thing about number 4, Milan Pavkovic. One thing that boy will do, if he can smell the basket, he shoots it. And then that time he passed off to Matchvan, and Matchvan, who got a great start to the game with a couple of layups, but he's been out of sorts for a while. You can see the frustration born there, and represented by the air ball 3.
Markovic knocks it out of bounds. 21 seconds to go in the first quarter, 24-14. Anything that Hemofarm can do to get some momentum, a stop here will be important for them. Inside here, Azimovic got his back to the basket, backing in. Good, solid defense by Macvan. Belika, sorry, was the man with his trying to back Macvan into the post.
Yeah, that's good. And you asked me, how do you guard somebody big like that? That's what Matchvan did there. He held his ground, arm bar on his back, just not letting him push him backwards. What you need then is the Rytas players need to move without the basketball, create opportunities, give him a chance to pass. Nice screen there by Bielica.
Oh, misses the 3. Edson hasn't got his perimeter game going. Chance for the prayer of a shot is way off. End of the first quarter, 24-14. Rytas have used the experience of being in the latter stage of European competition to such good effect in that first quarter. They were the team that has come out and established their superiority in the first quarter. They lead it 24-14. We're going to take a commercial break. Don't miss the second quarter here from Turin. Well, welcome back to Turin. End of the first quarter, both teams still in their huddles before the second quarter will start. And we were talking during that short break, during the break between the first and the second quarter, where are Hemofarm going to find someone to break open? Is Pavkovic going to have to step out and knock some threes down?
Well, somebody's got to step up and make a 3. Well, bearing in mind we're 10 minutes in the game and nobody has made a 3-point shot on either team. So the first one to do it will win the Sweetie prize. It looks like men against boys at the moment, and that's why it was so important for Rytas to establish physical superiority, shall we say, over the Hemofarm boys. But Serbian players are not going to lay down, they're not going to back down. They will make their run. There's a reason why we play 40 minutes in the game. You don't just play 10 and then all go home.
Oh, that's a tough call on Martin Bay there. He was just trying to stop the cut, a little bit of contact, and the referee calls the foul. A lot of fouls called last night. I hope we don't get into one of those fouling situations again. But it will be a Rytas basketball on the sideline. And Chuck Eaton will bring it in, and he is directing operations at the moment for Rytas. In total control of his team, and it is his team. Penetration's good. We got a foul on the floor. Foul looked like it was called on Pavkovic.
But Braskas is playing strong tonight. You can see we've questioned in the past the amount of minutes he gets, but you can see he's earned them. He's worked exceptionally hard on defense. He's very aggressive when he goes to the basket.
That's good defense by Yoksimovic. Saw Eaton coming off that screen in the low post, and he shot across the passing lane and knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, it's one of those things you work in practice time and time again. Team systems, if there's a low screen, you can go over or go under. Does he call it offensive foul?
No, he was like dancing on the sideline and stepped in. So
excited.
Referee got to get that stuff right, because there was good defense which caused him to do that. So here's Pavkovic. Now this guy is not afraid to shoot the basketball, and at the moment he needs, and we've never normally said this with Hemofarm, he needs to get himself going. Thought about the 3, gets it back. He's always thinking about the 3. Good double team, nice pass. Someone's wide open. Here he is, Yoksimovic on the inside. Gets the 2. Good recognition by Hemofarm that time. Double team. One of the men in orange has got to be open, and Yoksimovic was that man. Comes up with a 2. First points for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, good execution offensively. I'm a little concerned that Pavkovic is dribbling so much and holding onto the ball so often. But it was a great pass there, great recognition of when the double team finally came.
Defense has stepped up now. Extension on the defense. Markovic is picked off, though. Penetration. Petrovic going up. We've got a travel call, and that's good defense by Hemofarm. If your offense isn't functioning, find a way to get your defense going, and that's what they've done at the start of this second quarter. That the Rytas fans on the far side, they're a little bit quiet at the start of this quarter because it's been about Hemofarm's defense. And here's Pavkovic. They've got to keep him that far out. That still doesn't normally stop him. Double team off the pick and roll again. He's broken it down. Oh, he's got open guys. He's just got to make the pass.
No, it's good hands there by Chuck Edson. And whenever you see that double team on a high screen and roll, somebody has to step in the middle and protect the basket. It's not all about your man. And that time, Edson saved the layup when he split the double team.
Simovic with a long three, and there's a foul called off the ball, and I think we've got a foul on
I think it's
Babrauskas on the box out there. Missed the box out, stayed in the play, and hoped the referee wouldn't see him grabbing. I think it was Martin Bader, but no problem. Hemofarm 16, Rytas 24, and it's a good start to this second quarter. Hemofarm have come out and have been much more aggressive as Bozovic went to the basket there on the out-of-bounds play. Excellent start here by Hemofarm. And here's Pavkovic. They've looked a little bit better with Pavkovic at the point here. There's a little bit more spread. Markovic looking to get his personal tally going. Nice rebound by Bozovic. And this is what you want your bench guys to do, make an impact.
And Bozovic is one of the guys, didn't play a lot in the quarterfinal win over Moscow, so he's got fresher legs. They'll be expecting him to come with some numbers tonight. And you're right, got loose for the offensive rebound and put the layup back.
Babrauskas gets the three-point column on the stat sheet with a number in it for the first time tonight, makes the three, and that sort of takes a little bit of the wind out of that Hemofarm start, but they should not get disappointed. Much better start from Hemofarm this second quarter. Pavkovic tries to answer with three from way downtown, and we've got a foul called again. This is good, though, the floor being spread, much more aggression going to the balls. That's 2 fouls on the rebound situation.
And that's something that anybody new to the game of basketball wouldn't be picking up. They're not scoring a lot of actual baskets, but they're causing fouls, and they're being aggressive, going after offensive rebounds. And that there, you see where Rytas there are answering the aggression with aggression of their own as Petrevicius forces the turnover.
Petrevicius is really answering some of the criticisms that's been leveled at him. Is he physical enough? Is he going to be that big man on the inside? Well, so far in this Eurocup Final 8, he's answering those questions.
Well, that's a dodgy call. That's one of those you hate to see. You got two big men. The ball's in the opposite side of the court. One, and well, if you blinked at home, you would have missed it. Petrevicius rolls to the basket, and Bader just kind of tried to deny him, and the referee said that's a foul. Now that is a foul.
It's an offensive foul, and Petrevicius is really trying to be the man out there at the moment. He's knocking people to the floor, that time illegally. Let's have a look. Yeah, way late, and just took Markovic out.
If he'd been a half a step more to the right, it'd have been okay, but he got him with his shoulder, not his chest. And okay, it's not a great foul for him to commit, but I like that. That would have been a message given to him to say, look, you're the man out here. You're 29 years old. Don't let these kids push you around. Let them know you're on the floor.
Better job by Hemofarm off this double team. Slices through on it, through it. His back literally hit there. Hit Martin Bader in the back there. And it's a bad decision by Pavkovic. Edson, two. Zavakas gets his own tally going with an easy offensive rebound. And
Mark, this is where Hemofarm are missing Vuka Slavejevic, because his 15 points game, his size and his presence is something that they really need another physical big man out there at the moment. With Matchvan and Marjanovic on the bench, they're a bit light in the butt, shall we say.
Great recognition by Joksimovic. There was a switch and he had Petrevicius and he took him to the basket. Good recognition by the Slovenian. Great hustle by Pavkovic, and he turns it over. Markovic at speed, just about recovers the basketball, has it wide open for three, turns down the open three. This man won't. 4-3, Pavkovic is way off. Well, sooner or later their run will come with these shots. They will not miss these all night.
Yeah, they've got a smaller lineup on the floor. Joksimovic, Markovic and Pavkovic. Those three guys are out there with one thing in mind, put the ball up. And I like the small ball lineup that they're going with.
Inside, outside, way off. Oof.
The thing is, Mark, let me just say this. When a team goes to three guards as Hemofarm has, then you're almost obliged as Rytas. What they should be doing now is pound the ball inside. You've got mismatches size-wise. Get layups, not deep air ball three-point shots like Babrauskas just took.
Well, double team on the pick and roll again. Find the open man. Pavkovic just should have cut to the basket. He was wide open. We've got a foul. And it's a foul on Babrauskas, and the fouls are starting to mount up
way
again.
you say that Pavkovic won't turn down a three-point shot, Babrauskas never saw a foul he didn't like. Fouled out, 5 fouls in the quarterfinal, 5 fouls the last time we saw him in the final 16 play. But that's good aggressive basketball.
Well, we've got a Rytas timeout, and that's regardless of the margin. They're the team that has lost its way a little bit. And they still hold the lead, Martin, during this timeout. But I think Coach Kurt Rytas is not really liking there's no rotation on that double team that time.
Well, as we said, there's the game isn't finished after the first quarter. So the 10-point lead's a nice thing to have. I'll take it. But Hemofarm are going to come back. And again, you've got to credit both teams have given their best shot so far. Now, Hemofarm are missing offensively, but defensively they've really stepped up in the second quarter.
Well, there's Babrauskas. He will not be back after this timeout. That's his 3rd foul. And they've got real depth on the bench here, they have Rytas, so that won't worry them too much. They have that strength in depth, and they will keep that aggression going on the defensive end. Well, both teams coming out after that timeout. It'll be an end-line ball here for Hemofarm. They trail 20-29 with 5:30 to go in the second quarter. But it's been a good start for Hemofarm. Their defensive intensity stepped up. They've got a few turnovers. They're dealing so much better with a double team on the pick and roll. And we've got another foul now on Idsen, and we must be getting pretty close to the bonus for Hemofarm with 5 minutes to go. It says 5 team fouls. I don't know if that means for the half or the quarter. We'll just check that. Yep, that's the 5th. And with 5 minutes to go, Hemofarm are already in the bonus. They will already shoot 2 free throws if there's any further foul committed by this Rytas team. A little bit of a subdued atmosphere in this gym. These fans from Vilnius, they're almost sitting back enjoying the lead. That may rub off on the team.
No, they're sitting back enjoying the lead. They're tired from that journey they've had. They've had a 14-hour drive down from Vilnius. You'd be quiet too. No, it's a bit deceptive as well. This is a massive arena that they're playing this game in. So it doesn't. There's a lot of empty seats in there, but it's like a 14,000 seat arena. They've got 6,500 in here. There's a lot of people who've made that journey.
A beautiful play. As Rodriguez went to the basket, Idsen found him with a lovely pass off the dribble. 31-22. Game's settling into a rhythm now. If Hemofarm can start knocking down some shots, this could get very interesting. Joksimovic for 3, and there's what we've been looking for. These guys do not know how they will not pass up the open shot. And Joksimovic shows the experience and the leadership as one of the older men on this Hemofarm team. Cuts it to a 6-point lead. Idsen comes off. That pick and roll in the corner, looking to break down the defense, gets to the basket and finishes. Again, good recognition of the mismatch.
The moment he sees somebody bigger and slow with longer socks on him than him, in that case Martin Bader, he licks his lips and goes to work.
Well, here's Hemofarm in the half court. Kovic has only taken 1 3 so far. It's unusual for him. He's normally lighting it up early. Now misses the long 2. That's not really Bader. He's not really the primary option they'd go to offensively. But 33-25, Hemofarm have stemmed that little run that Rytas had at the end of the first quarter. Now they've got to eat into the lead. Lukauskas finds Petrikas. Oh, almost a steal by Joksimovic as Idsen's off from the perimeter. That perimeter game is not going for him, and Zavakas will foul on the offensive boards, and they will start the long walk down for 2 more free throws for Hemofarm.
And Idsen there taking what I would call a bad shot. I know he can stroke that shot, but he's been most effective using his size advantage to play before he goes to the basket and gets the layup. This time he pulls up for the jumper, misses the shot, and Donald Zavakas picks up his 3rd foul. You know, these things, it's not rocket science basketball. You don't need to have a higher degree in nuclear technology.
Well, here's Borisov looking to make the free throws, and this is going to be so important now for Hemofarm. If they are the aggressor and they pick up fouls, they're going to get to the free throw line a lot, but that's half the answer. The other half of that is making the free throws. And Borisov goes 2 from 2 from the line. Cuts it to a 6-point margin again. A little bit of extension, picking up 3/4 court now. Almost a steal. That's good hustle. You love to see that. Players diving on the floor as Joe Mantas, who never looks to me that comfortable in the backcourt. That's why Eaton has to do so much for this team. Handles the ball, scores points, has assists. That's why he's the MVP, I suppose. But here he is, Chuck Eaton. They look a much better team when he's running the show. Nice pass to the inside. Petrovikas just about controls it. We've got a foul.
Yeah, there's energy by Borisov there, and it's just playing hard defense. And we saw this from the other Serbian team last night at Hemofarm. They got down early against Bilbao, just chipping away at the lead. That's what you have there. And Borisov said, I've had enough of trying to fight over the screen. I'm just going to try and run Zvakas over.
There they are, Lukauskas, nice pass. That's so good. I love, only could get a replay of that. He made that pass because Borisov turned his head, couldn't see the ball, and they just mishandled it. Petrovikas would have had it easy too. Great fundamental stuff. It's just reading the defense, seeing what the defense is doing and making a good decision. Pavkovic. Got to see this guy shoot the ball. Normally we're asking him not to shoot it. Double team, find the open man. Does, to the hoop. Beautiful fit. Oh, no finish by Borisov. Great work on the glass. Gang rebounding by both teams. Everyone just wanted a piece of that one. They've got to take those opportunities.
Yeah,
though.
well, that's a tough opportunity. The circus-style layup attempt by Markovic, and then they gang rebound. Didn't come up with the goods, and I was actually optimistic because I was hoping Lukauskas would take the transition opportunity. I think that either team wants to really stamp a hold of this and grab hold of this game. They're going to have to open the game up a little bit and take some gambles, some risks offensively on the fast break.
Well, each game we've seen one of the teams struggle from the free throw, which Rytas' turn to struggle from the free throw line. They could have been almost out of sight if they'd have made more free throws. I think they've missed something like 6 or 7 already.
4 or 5 they've thrown in the game when you're up by 7 points. Yeah, it's double digits, and what it does, it keeps the spirits up of your opposition.
Markovic off the pick and roll. They show a double team and then retreat back and match up. Here's Markovic looking to create his own shot. Gets to the keyway. Nice kick. Nice. Well, it's a beautiful penetration. Then throws it away. Great rotation.
And Mark, you know what, though, that demonstrates the weakness of this Hemofarm team, because you see the great kick, the great play. They don't have the big play. They don't have the go-to man. There's a bit of a loss there. Markovic penetrates, kicks, and what does Borisov do? Penetrates and kicks again. They don't give points for penetration and kick. They give points for putting the ball in the net.
Well, they've got to get confident with that perimeter game. They shot 60% from the two-point line and 40% of their shots from the three-point line in the quarterfinal upset over Moscow. They've just got to shoot the basketball.
Nice pass, nice play.
Is short. Chance for Rytas for another quick, easy 2. Should make it so. Oh, Jomantas misses. Joksimovic, now there are 3 on 2 now. He must get an open shot. He's going to take it. Oh, way off. He just offered the shot to Bader.
Didn't have to take that shot, though. He didn't need to. He should have. Pavkovic should have made the pass to give it right back to me. That's where you need a powerful point guard.
Well, you need someone to step up and score some points here for Hemofarm. They've scored 27 points, almost at the end of the half. Penetration is no good, and they're looking for a foul. There's Belika, but he didn't deserve the foul on that move. Well, it looks like they've had a hard game a night ago. And both teams struggling to establish that rhythm they had in the quarterfinals. Pavkovic thought about a 3, takes the 3, doesn't make the 3, and he just hasn't looked the same player. I think we're going to have a timeout here by Hemofarm. There's only 1:18 to go in the second quarter.
It's an important last minute of the half, and a lot of fans say, well, why would you call the timeout the minute left before halftime? There's a big momentum opportunity here for Hemofarm. They need to get a stop and they need to get a score. And for Rytas, Coach Kurtanas recognized if he gets a big play here, crikey, it'd be nice if they could make a 3-point shot for them. If they've made 1 on the night, then they could really put a bit of breathing space between them and the team from Serbia.
Well, they definitely need someone on the top 10 scoring list to start scoring some points, because he really needs to find some ways of getting this offense kicked in. There's Joksimovic.
Well, Mike, if I told you before this game starts that by halftime we would have had 2 3-point shots made, you'd have said no way. But that's how tough it is, and that's fatigue. And when I say fatigue, it's not physical fatigue; it's mental fatigue, because to shoot the long ball, it takes concentration, focus, and they're putting so much evidence to their defense that they're dropping off on offensive efficiency, which is why the scoring is so low.
Well, we were talking again, I mean, when we were talking about this game before, way above their season average in points in the quarterfinal, Hemofarm, because they shot the ball so well. At some point, I still think they're going to start knocking some shots down because they're not going to be bad shooters.
Well, they're shooting 10% from three-point line, 1 out of 10, and Rytas is 1 out of 8. So those numbers won't stay the same for 20 minutes. So the good news is, if you want to see the scoreboard turn over, expect fireworks in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Just over a minute to go. Thought about the three. Borisov didn't take it. Almost another turnover. Just recovered on the perimeter. We're at under 10. And Pavkovic normally would come off the screen, but they show the double team. Gets to the basket. Great decision, but misses the layup. Gets his feet in bounds. Good presence of mind by Pavkovic. Oh,
wow, that's
crazy decision. That looks like people who Bozovic was the culprit there. Looks like guys who are negative with themselves, not sure about themselves. That fearless young team is not the team that's played in this first quarter from Hemofarm. And the guys watching this game at home in Versace will not like that play.
That's a beautiful execution there. Petrevičius gets the plaudits for rolling to the basket, but that's a great pass. Was that Edson who just recognized the double team and patiently threaded the bounce pass through?
Well, the most important, really important last 10 seconds here is going to be the last shot of the first half, and Hemofarm need to score. Pavkovic sees the double team, got to find the open man. Joksimovic on the penetration is fouled, and he will go to the free throw line. There's a second to go on the clock, I think. 1.15 seconds, I think that is. Joksimovic, good decision. Went to the basket.
And the good thing is he's going to get his free throws. A chance to get 2 points. But importantly, while he's in there, he picked up the third foul on Petrevičius, which could be a game changer in the second half, unless he misses the free throws.
Well, Joksimovic, one of the top 10 scorers in Eurocup history. He's also an excellent free throw shooter. He does an excellent job from the line. You'd expect him to make something like 80% of his free throws. No.
He's not quite as good as that, normally.
I'm just reading yeah, he's a 70% free throw shooter. But at the end of the first half, well, whatever we're saying about Hemofarm, they've closed the margin in that second quarter. They've closed it to 8. And we're going to get a chance. We're going to get a chance to get some reactions. They just won that second quarter by 2 points. The good thing for them is Rytas only hit 12 points.
Well, they fixed the defense. They were down by 10, but good defensive effort by Hemofarm.
Well, we're going to hear what Martin Bader says. He's with Robbie on court side.
It's going to be an easy game. Can you tell us what's gone wrong for the moment, or what's gone right?
I think we turned a lot of balls over. They made a trap and they could steal some balls from that, so they made some easy layups. I think if we don't lose those balls and we play a little smarter, then the game is not like this. Then maybe it's tied or we are leading. And we missed a couple of free throws too, so whatever, this was just the first half. So we kept playing hard, we are going on, and we tried to turn the game for us in the second half.
Thanks very much, Martin.
Thanks.
Okay, good luck.
Well, Petrevičius, who just picked up his third foul, is with Karina. Let's see what he's got to say as they lead by 8.
You're really good at defense. Was it the initial plan to base your game on defense today?
Thanks. Yeah, coach wanted us to play aggressive defense, and I think if we keep it aggressive second half, I think it'll be okay.
What do you think about the performance of your team so far? Are you happy? Anything to change?
I think we're doing well. We're playing aggressive defense, and the offense will put yourself in a place. They will run a good offense if we play good defense.
Go Vilnius, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Wow, that sounded like Karina was showing a little bit of bias there as she went, go Vilnius there. She's probably she's standing in front of those fans.
She's
from Vilnius.
partisan for the guy she interviews, and that's good there. Interesting to hear that little South Carolina twang of Petrevičius. You know, he went to school with Chuck Edson, so Edson's a part Lithuanian through his college days. Look at those stats though, Mark. The 3-point, well, I think you can erase that for both teams. Turnovers, big difference there. 12 turnovers. Bader talks about it in his timeout. 12 turnovers by Hemofarm in a game that you're down by 8. That will hurt you.
Wow. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be thinking about this second half. You know the players will be in those locker rooms. If you want to see who makes the final, come back after the break. Well, welcome back to Turin, the second half of the first semi-final of the Eurocup. Both teams out on the floor. Both teams have spent a fair amount of time in the locker room trying to work out why neither team can shoot the ball like they did 2 nights ago, Martin. And
well, we're giving a lot of credit to defense, but you look at Hemofarm, they're 1 for 10 on the 3-point line. That is defense. And also because their 3-point shooters are smaller, so they've got big guys that they're trying to shoot over. But they've 5 free throws they've missed as well, so there's no defense on the foul line. And Lietuvos not much better. What's going for them is they're 59% on the 2. They're making their layups, but they're blowing their 3-point shots. And it's simple formula. If I'm Coach Rytas, I'll say to the boys from Rytas, okay, get up the 3-point line, throw the ball inside to the big boy, Petrevicius, Chuck, get to the basket, and play good defense. Then we've got a chance to play for a championship tomorrow.
It's an easy job as a coach at this level, then.
Yeah, crikey. That's why I didn't do it, actually, because it was so easy.
Well, I think there's a saying that a number of coaches use, that defense wins championships, and at the moment it is defense that's giving Rytas the chance to win a championship, because they're the team that's actually got, well, their toe in the semi-final with this lead as they get ready for this second half. Hemofarm out on the floor early. They need to establish a little bit of rhythm offense. That double team off that pick and roll is really giving them problems.
It'll be interesting to see how they adjust, and adjust they will. Expect them to have, they'll still run the pick and roll, but then there will be a weak side guy. Instead of hiding in the corner, will be flashing high to the opposite side of the court to make the release pass. They did break it a couple of times and get the layup underneath, but they need one of the big men. Match fan would be ideal, but here or Beda or Marjanovic to get themselves open and finish with authority at the cup.
Well, it's going to be an enormously important third quarter. The most important thing for Hemofarm is they have to stay in touch. Tough job on the inside, really good finish, and there's the answer we've been looking for. The man off the bench, Vukasalevich, steps in, first touch, 2 points, the big man, the beast for this Hemofarm team, gets them going.
Maybe it's by Coach Karadzic, a conscious effort to save him until I need him.
Oh, no rotation. Petrevicius gets the easy 2, no rotation at all as Vukasalevich goes over to help. No one helped him.
Well, Vukasalevich has been out with a foot injury for a while, and there's one thing that's obvious about him versus anybody else. He's broader of stature, shall we say, and he's obviously, you can see why he's not played. He's out of shape. He's come back fat. That's why he's not playing very much, but they need him. He gives you 14 points a game.
He's a big old boy, but he's not quick down the floor. Saved by Petrevicius, and it will be Chuck Edson, as you were at the start, an 8-point margin.
I'll tell you what, though, he's got 20 minutes in him, and if they can get him under the basket, not let the fadeaway jump shot, hit him in the first play, that's a nice move here by the coach to start him. He's got him. He's warned him as well in the halftime. Right now, here's your chance. He's big. He's aggressive. He certainly isn't going to be intimidated by Petrevicius.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Petrevicius does. There's a good defensive series here by Hemofarm. Well, Pavkovic has been known to pull up and shoot the ball. But,
patience. Let's execute. This is something that Coach Karadzic would have said. We will execute. We will run good screens, and we will take the shot that they give us.
And they're not going to guard Vukasalevich on the 3-point line. But here's Kristovic, puts it on the floor. Nice pass.
Him there, though.
Oh, and he gets the block, but he misses the other one. The second shot he missed, and that's just being out of game sort of rhythm, but he's already having an impact. He's taken 4 shots in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, the first layup was great defense there. I think it was Jomantas, was it, or Zabakas who blocked it. That surprised him. The second one, I think he was out of breath by the look of things, but you're right. He has changed the look of this Hemofarm team already.
Oh, great defensive rotation. Petrevicius was going to the basket, picked it off. Kristovic doesn't shoot it. Well, they're not shooting the ball. The other night they were taking shots here. Kristovic to the basket, doesn't make the layup. Well, the good thing for Hemofarm is they've got to the basket 4 times in the first 2.5 minutes. The bad thing is they've only scored once.
Well, Kristovic is doing, that's coach's orders. He said, look, you're 1 for 10, stop shooting 3-point shots. And that's why he's a bit gun shy there, but he's got to take that layup.
Super pass by Chuck Edson as Petrevicius goes to the basket. He doesn't miss the layup.
You've
10-point margin.
When Chuck Eaton's dribbling, you've got to get him onto his right hand. He's very left-handed, and off the dribble, he's a great one-handed passer. So force him onto his right hand and be aggressive. Hands should be in there. You have to take a couple of fouls, otherwise he'll pick you apart as he's just done.
Kristovic to the basket, tough layup, makes it. Definite instruction from the bench of Hemofarm, get to the hoop. They need everybody in this emotionally. The whole team needs to get up. They need to get to the hoop. They trail 8, 40-32. What a story if the youngsters could make this Eurocup semi-final. But Chuck Eaton misses the layup. They forced him to go right that time, though. Yep. So.
And what did he do when he went right? He had to go back to his left hand. That's the way you guard him. It's not, as I said, it's not a complicated game, this basketball.
Havkovic and Joksimovic in the backcourt. Kristovic gives it back to Joksimovic.
Yeah, it's a bit static there. I like this. Nobody posting up strong.
Joksimovic on the penetration. Got to shoot the ball, and there's nothing on that one, and that will be a 24-second violation. Didn't get the shot away inside 24 seconds, so it's a turnover. And Joksimovic was going nowhere on that penetration. It's all very well trying to be controlled, but you've got to be aggressive.
Yep, aggression is what's lacking there, and you can see Vukoslavovic. Well, look at the lack of definition, shall we say, on his arms there, and maybe had one crepe and a pizza too many at breakfast.
Well,
but it's changed the tone of the game. He's obviously got some fire out there.
Savakis for 3, hasn't made one all tournament so far, and still to make one.
But the difference as well is it allows Marjanovic to be protected a little bit. Great pass, guy. You've got to get to the basket.
Up
take
early.
That.
And we've got a foul on Savakis. That'll be his 4th. And that's just...
Well, they can suffer the 4 fouls on Savakis, but you've got to take that opportunity there. Was it Bozovic who had that?
Oh, he had to go up. He had to go up.
He's a springy player as well. We talked about in the first quarter how Lietuvos were pushing, were bearing down, very physical, and it's just gotten them a little bit back here on their heels. And look at this, missed free throw, and also notice there's nobody in orange lining up to go for the offensive rebound. That's a sign of I've given up.
Or extreme confidence in the man from the free throw. He makes a second. Bozovic makes a second, cuts it to 7. We're only talking about a 7-point game. I know it's a very low-scoring game, but it's still only a 7-point margin. Lukauskis looking inside. Chavikas on the perimeter. Gets it back on the inside. Goes over the big man. Misses that reverse layup. That hit nothing. No reset on the shot clock. And we've got a whistle, and it will only... And they've only got, what, 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Good defensive series thus far for Hemofarm. Can they hold out for another 2 seconds? No need for a stupid foul.
Momentum play here. Lukauskis for the 3. Oh, my word. How many times this year on Eurosport 2 has Lukauskis on the end of a shot clock with someone hanging on his arm made the 3? He establishes the 10-point lead. Any momentum out of that defensive series gone in an instant. Then there's Joksimovic, doesn't take the screen at the high post. There's a foul. Referees are calling this tight.
Yeah, they have called a lot of fouls early on, and that's worrying for both teams, because what it means is you're not sure how you can play. You know, they're changing the rules all the time, and there Chuck Edson picks up his second foul saying, come on, ref, we're just playing.
Not really a call there, and it's still Pavkovic. Normally he's very, very trigger happy from the 3-point line. Backing up.
One would argue that if the coach has said don't shoot 3s, why have Pavkovic in the game?
Kristovic on the dribble, nice pass, nice floating pass to Marjanovic, and he is fouled by Belica. And it should be an end-line ball. I don't think he was shooting that. If they give him shots for that, that'll be quite an impressive.
Well, I think it was one of those catch-and-shoot situations, and the referee will give him the 2 free throws. What else was he going to do?
And unfortunately, he's not a great free throw shooter, but...
He says, shut up, Mr. Clark.
That's right. He's, and then again,
I didn't hear the mister.
No, that's true. And he's 2 meters 22, so he can probably say what he wants to say to me. But here's Marjanovic. Shows me what I know. Goes 2 from 2 from the line, and it's an 8-point game. And Rytas will be worried a little bit that they haven't managed to put Hemofarm away. Because I still believe that this Hemofarm team has a run in it. Lukauskis pulls up at the foul line for 2. Stroked it.
We talk again, Mark, about game breakers, game-changing players. I mean, Mindaugas, Lukauskas, there's another one there. We talk about Chuck Edson, not much about Lukauskas, but Lukauskas is the guy who is known by his first name. And anytime you're known by your Christian name, it's a good sign, and he's going to come up with the big jumpers there.
Oh, and the game breakers are the guys from Hemofarm who could get themselves going. Pavkovic almost seems to have forgotten how to shoot. He's going to sit down. That will probably mean Markovic will come back into the game. And there we've got Danis, who's a real energy player for the boys from Vilnius.
Well, we've said this before, Mark, that to win this Eurocup, you've got to win 3 games in 4 days. So the bench players have to come up. Pavkovic has given nothing so far.
It's Kauskas for 3. That was no good. Defensive rebound by Kristovic. Puts it on the floor. Joksimovic thinks about it, fires, pulls the trigger, gets the 3.
What did we say, Mark, in the first half? I was saying that the team that can open the game up a bit will be in the ascendancy, and this is what Hemofarm have done in that case. Will they sustain that rapid basketball?
Oh, good rotation on the defense there, but Lukauskas for 3. Well, how did Petrovikas get that? 3 orange shirts on the defensive end. Someone should have pulled it. No one did. It just fell into Petrovikas'
Well, I said to you,
hands.
I said, get Bjelica out there, just draw the big boy away from the basket, and then just go to war on the boards, and that's exactly what happened there. Petrovikas, well, he's a confidence player. Now he's up, what, 14 points? He's feeling like he's the man in town.
Danis on the dribble. Thinks about it, but doesn't shoot it. Belika gets it back from him, gives it to Danis, and he'll set it up with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Petrikas with a high post pick and roll. Danis is looking for him.
Travel.
I think we're going to get a travel call. Yep, that's a good call. Now, how often Petrikas has gone hard to the basket on that pick and roll, and he's been really productive for Rytas all night. Oh, there's the second hop.
Yeah, he definitely traveled.
Second hop.
He's got to be confident, so I'm not going to question that, but that's when you just take straight up, and Hemofarm have gone to the depths of their bench now. They've gone right in there, so right, let's try anyone who's got anyone with a pulse can play.
Well, Samovic is in the game. Didn't play at all the other night. Haven't seen Macvan in this quarter at all.
We were joking about it the other day, saying that the worst thing that could have happened for the big boys in Bilbao and the other team that played against the other Serbian team yesterday shouldn't have been named. Gusevski should not have been named to the Eurocup team because they forgot. Well, Matchman got given rising star of the tournament, and his game has gone, well, it's gone sundown.
Joksimovic, great penetration. Nice kick, bad pass. Good decision, but a bad pass. Great Arsenal play. Still 10 seconds on the clock. Markovic on the floor. Falls over. And Rytas will get an easy 2. Mindaugas Lukauskas with the 2. I think he's had 7 points in this quarter. 7 of the last 9. 11-point margin, and Rytas with their experience on the edge now, looking at the edge of the Eurocup final. Whoa! And as soon as you say anything like that, well, what do we say about Serbian basketball? He didn't play a second the other night, steps off the bench, gets his feet set, knocks a 3 down.
Yeah, and I said, find the guy, anyone with a pulse can play at the moment. Well, that pulse-bearing guy just nailed a big 3 to keep him in it.
Well, that's a huge play. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Lukauskas. Charging foul? Well, 2 plays back-to-back. Markovic with a charge, and the 3 from the youngster Samovic. And all of a sudden, I'm calling it as though we're getting back, looking at the final, and all of a sudden they've got a chance to get right back in the game. One of the things that we always say about Serbian basketball, one, they never know when they're beat. They are one of those, if they can get a little bit of momentum, they'll get going. The other things, they don't normally change what they do. And that starts of the third quarter, Martin, they just got slow. That's not how they play.
No, exactly. They've Vukovic got them off to a good start, but this guy here, Petrovic, has been tough throughout the game. 17 points so far. And you're right, they slowed the game down, but what the Hemofarm are good at is transition basketball. Young legs run quick, use those assets. And this guy here, Joksimovic, he looks like he's got the hot hand, so you've got to maybe put him at the 2 guard and let him get out there and try and get some 3 balls off. And the young fella coming in and says, right, I'll give you some numbers too.
Well, they're just at the end of the timeout. Can Hemofarm keep this momentum up? Well, Hemofarm just trying to build themselves back into this game. With 1:47 to go, they trail by 8, but they have the basketball. A little bit of momentum going. Savage has come into the game, automatically makes a 3. Oh, it's a great little hesitation by Kristovic as he gets to the basket. The foul was called way before the shot. Little hesitation on the dribble. That's Serbian basketball.
Yeah, and that's
making things happen.
And that's what Kristovic does well. He's a strong slashing type player. He gets the basket well, and he's giving hope to the other Hemofarm players, and the fans in Versace will be just sitting back on the edge of their seats at the moment, feeling right, now's the time to make our run. This is a good time to do it as well. If you can make these 2 throws, and I was trying not to be too presumptuous, if they can get this down at around 5, 6, 7, certainly less than 10 going into the final quarter, they'll feel okay about the world, because they haven't played great basketball so far tonight.
Well, Kristovic, is that one thing he can't seem to do is make free throws. He makes that one, but he's had a nightmare from the free throw line in the quarterfinal, and he's not got any better tonight.
Well, that was the first one from 4 attempts. 25% will not win very many championships.
And he was under 50% in the quarterfinal, but here's Rytas. They'll be looking to control the tempo now. Eatson on his dribble to the middle, and there's nothing strong about that move at all.
Yeah, Bielica just took that a bit light to the basket. Got to be aggressive. The old Bill Walton cliche: throw it down, big fella, throw it down.
This is a big trip. This could get it really. This could really give some momentum. There's the running layup, and he gets it. Kristovic with the 2, cuts it to 5. They haven't been within 5 for a long time.
And that's just tough, hard-nosed slashing drive by Kristovic. But it's the defensive end where they've got to sustain now. They've got to get the stop.
Right there off the dribble. Took advantage, bad-looking bank shot. That'll be a Hemofarm ball. Well,
Edson pulled up for the jumper mark, and again, what I say to you, he's got to get to the basket. Jump shots are not going to win this game for you. You got here shooting layups. You can't say it was 3-point shots. You ain't made but 2 all night.
Well, these guys might be young. There's a few older heads out there with Joksimovic in the game, but these guys have been in a lot of big games. Markovic has won a world title. So they're not going to panic here. Joksimovic on the dribble. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Needs a good shot. Goes for the long 3. Way, oh, friendly ring here in Turin. Almost trapped it on the backboard.
Transforms the scoreboard.
Oh my word! 2-point game. We were writing these guys off less than 4 minutes ago, and now they're back to 2 down. What a series of games we've had the privilege to watch. Backdoor pass. That's way short, and it's fortunately rebounded by Marjanovic. Well, for 8 minutes of that quarter, it was just predictable Rytas basketball. But what a 2 minutes.
Yeah, 28 minutes of that game. It's been all Hemofarm.
Well, there you go. They've won the last 2 quarters by 2, and then they've won that by 6. Hemofarm on the way back. Come back after this break. Well, welcome back to Turin. Welcome back to the first semi-final of Eurocup 2009. Hemofarm have dragged themselves back from the brink of defeat to a 47-49. They only trail by 2. There's still no great numbers there for Hemofarm. There's still at this 27% from the 3-point line, 17% for Rytas. Someone should just ignore the 3-point line on this whole game.
Both teams should. Mark, you said no big deal on the numbers there. The big number, the one that hasn't changed, turnovers. Hemofarm had 12 in the first half, only 2 in the third quarter. That and defense is taking care of the basketball. Good defense and rebounding got them back in it.
Chuck Eatson finds Zavakis, goes inside to Petrovicas. Great play at the start of the game. He's got to go over to 222, doesn't turn over. For the first time tonight, Petrovicas turns down an option on the inside.
I mean, they executed the play to perfection. He got the ball with both feet in the paint. Marjanovic on his back. Just take the ball up strong. If your shot gets blocked, so what? But the worst thing you can do is throw it to the invisible man 80 feet away at the other end of the court.
Hemofarm. Well, this will be, well, if you take the end of the third quarter, they could be on a 10-0 run here. It's back to 12-0 run. And there's a foul. Are we going to get a travel? We're going to get a travel. Well, they've done so much of a better job against the double team, but Savovic, well, maybe you should have just taken the three and got him out and got someone back. But
nothing wrong with that play. They're playing hard-nosed basketball. The defense is there. That's what's going to win this game for Hemofarm.
Petrovicus gets a chance to make amends. Nice little jump hook. That's what he should have done the first time.
You have to ask yourself why. Why didn't you do it the last time?
Well, old Bobby Marvanovic was in his face, so he decided not to, but he was in his face that time and he came up with a two. 51-47. Hemofarm need to score. They need to keep the momentum going. Joksimovic on the perimeter, takes the screen, backs it out. They're a long way from the basket with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Markovic is going to shoot it. And it's right off. They can't get lucky again like Joksimovic did late in the third quarter.
And Joksimovic is the man who should be shooting the basketball, Mark. That's what's wrong. What I hate about that play. He's got to be the hot hand. He's the guy who's made the shots.
Here we go. 51-47. It's an almost Zdobiak. Over the 2-meter 22. Justin gets it. Petrovicus is going to go up on the reverse. Blocked by Marjanovic.
But that's okay. You're being aggressive, going to the basket. But Trevitus can't get down over that. There's nothing wrong. That's just good basketball by both teams.
War of attrition is the only way I can describe this at the moment. Joksimovic gives it to Markovic. High post pick and roll. No one going to the hoop at all. Savic isn't going to go anywhere. Joksimovic, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Nice little pass. Savovic, every time we write him off, comes up with something.
And 2 points. Joksimovic there, just recognized the double team and a lovely pass. Savovic, the right man going to the basket. Well, anybody that was thinking that Serbian basketball wasn't going to have a bigger role to play, they're back in it. And so's that man, Chuck Edson.
It could be that Edson, I hope he doesn't just settle for the jump shots. Martin's been calling that all night. He's been great going to the hoop. Stroked that one nice, you know. This re-establishes the 4-point margin. Kristovic goes to the basket, is fouled on the way through by Babrauskas. And
Mark,
he will go to the free throw line.
And you talk about Edson setting for the jump shot. This game is set now for the likes of Chuck Edson to step up, as his step up for this guy Kristovic to step up. Make some free throws. He's the kind of guy that can give you 8-10 points in a hurry.
Well, if he's gonna start making free throws, it will be a huge factor for Hemofarm. If he makes this, it's back to 2. Well, call this one now. 7:30. Can't make 2 from 2. Kristovic misses another free throw. Zavakis gets it and they'll get it back to his. And Lukauskis comes off that one. Thinks about pulling up. Done a double dribble. Interesting. They asked him to travel on a double dribble. No call. Kristovic will back it out. Get it to Markovic. Calls the play. 5-point margin now for Rytas. Kristovic, go to the basket. Young man, come on, take the guy on. We got a
offensive. They called an offensive foul or 3 seconds.
I'm not sure what we got. Maybe a 3-second call.
Offensive foul again.
Let's have a look at that again. That's a tough one.
Well, that's what I know. I'm tall too. That's heightism. He's picking on him because he's big. The guy he's playing against is no shrimp here. It's just because he's long and he's caught it. If he lifts his elbow up, of course it's going to be in the guy's face.
Well, you can hear the crowd from Rytas really trying to lift their team. They've got the chance to give themselves, and they do give themselves an increased margin. Get it away with a 3-pointer from Babrauskas.
The thing that Rytas have got in their favor, we talk about Hemofarm being tough and never say die, and experience of winning at the highest level. This Rytas team has already won the Lithuanian Cup. They've already beaten Kaunas, so they've done it. They've won the championship. They've been in this atmosphere and been successful together this season.
That's a much better play by Marjanovic. Got fouled, should have probably made it, big boy, but he's going to go to the free throw line. And we've got a timeout by Coach Zadinic. He's going to take the timeout. He needs to get his team back focused on being positive and shooting the basketball. Babrauskas has just fouled out for the 2nd game running, but that's what it's almost part of his job, isn't it? The intensity.
Yeah, his fouls are not priceless jewels. They are like in a chess match. He's one of the pawns. He's not your queen or a knight or anything like that. So they'll suffer that loss. But there you see a clear foul, and that's good because it stops Marjanovic from having the simple dunk. But you touched on it. I'd rather have Marjanovic going for a 3-point play instead of the circus-style dunk and just going to the free throw line to shoot 2.
just further, there's no way you can really give people a feel for what it's like playing these games so close together with it. This is a real war of attrition, isn't it? Mentally, they have to be so tough.
It is, because players don't think that they're tired. You know, you go out there, you feel fresh, but it's the smart play, the veterans that know, oh, you know what, my legs are a bit heavy today.
Coming out of the timeout, Hemofarm will be on the free throw line. They trail by 8. Great comeback by them in the third quarter. But with just under 6.5 minutes to go, they trail by 58-50, and they've got to make the free throws. They've had a disastrous night from the free throws, and those fans that have traveled all the way from Vilnius in Lithuania will let them know every single time they miss one of these free throws. Makes the second as the big boy. Bobby Marjanovic makes the second to cut it to 7. A little bit of extension on the defense. Still mean that Makvan sits on the bench. That's off, got to come up. Oh, knocked into the basket by Savovic himself. There was too many white shirts on the glass there. But here's Markovic. Just throw that away, come down here, 9 points down. Markovic's got to be instrumental in the comeback here. Him and Joksimovic in the backcourt have got to start making shots. Kristovic got to get to the basket if Hemofarm had any chance to come back here. Joksimovic to the hoop, kicks it. Kristovic puts it on the floor, pulls up, gets the 2, strokes it. He and Joksimovic really do have to take the scoring load on now.
Well, take it on. They're the only guys that are being effective, and everybody else should recognize that, get out the way and work to get them shots, get the ball in their hand where they're effective.
Right, they've got to climb the mountain again. They got it back, tied the game up. They're down 7. Eaton for 3 is no good.
Good defense there. Got Eaton on his right hand, make it so it takes his passing game away, force him to the jump shot. So now, that's the challenge for Hemofarm. They're going to say, right, we've got defense sorted out. We've got to turn the scoreboard over. They've got to score points.
Joksimovic takes the 3, makes the 3. Joksimovic for 3, 56-60. Well, there's some great decisions there. The 2 scorers have taken the last 2 shots. Now they've got to do it at the defensive end. 60-56 with just under 5 minutes to go, and we've got a call, and it will be a turnover. Offensive foul is called. Coach Kerzanidis doesn't like it.
So they call it an Edson, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. It's a 3rd foul with Chuck Edson, offensive foul. That also puts them onto 3 team fouls, 1 more foul, and it will be 4 team fouls and the bonus situation for Hemofarm. Markovic. Well, there's a lot of experience in this young man. As we've said before, world junior. Joksimovic is feeling it, makes the 3, back 2, back 3s, 1-point game, 60-59. Well, he's another Slovenian. We've been talking about great Slovenian basketball players all season. And here there, Eaton gives it up. Zavakis. A little bit of weave on the offensive end. Lukauskas gets his feet set for 3. Is off, and that's a foul there.
Trevitus over the back of Marjanovic.
Well, Marjanovic, a big box out. That'll be Prajikas' 4th foul. That'll be the 4th team foul.
But also,
Hemofarm with momentum.
It's momentum with Hemofarm. I don't mind that foul on Trevitus, because now we march the free throw line, and you know, we put him in the bonus now. If we foul situation, Marjanovic, we're going to put him on the line, but they've got to get the ball out of this guy's hand.
Well, Hemofarm could take the lead on this possession. Savovic pulls up. It's off. Come on, give it to someone who's the scorer. 60-59. I can't believe these series of games. Every single game down to the wire. Chuck Eaton is fouled. And 1 for Chuck Eaton, Eurocup MVP with an MVP play.
Wow, that's just a smart, tough basketball play there. And Joksimovic knows, he's like, oh, he got me. That's the old dipsy-do trick he gave him. Think he's coming off looking to pass because he's on his left hand, took the contact and 1.
And Eaton completes the and 1. Well, from the chance to take the lead, Hemofarm trail 4. 4 minutes to go. Well, Savovic is still in the game.
They've got to move the ball a little bit quicker. They've got to be a bit more authoritative when they make these cuts now.
Markovic, they're almost waiting for the double team and then trying to find the open player. Kristovic, only 5 seconds on the clock, is way outside. Great defense by Rytas. Knocked away. Who's coming up with it? Great play by Zavakis, got down the floor. What an effort play. Chuck Eaton. Well, that's what makes you an MVP. He's just great job on the points and then comes up with a pure hustle play. Hats off to Chuck Edson. Now he's on the dribble. Forcing him right. Comes back, we've got a whistle.
The moment he gets across that left hand, he causes trouble. And that time, just a pivot on his left hand draws a foul.
What can you say about that great hustle play?
Great hustle play, but it all started with the defense of Jomantis, who got the steal off Kirstovic. But then you're right, Edson running the floor and hustling, running down the loose ball, gets the rebound, kick it back, reset, and they've got 24 seconds more. They can squeeze off the clock with a 4-point lead.
Someone from either team has got to come up with some good decisions now. Rytas, 4 points up. Eaton, he'll keep it, gets to the basket, misses. Great work on the boards. And Marjanovic comes up and he's fouled. 90 feet from the basket, Jomantis fouls him.
You know what, though? I don't mind that foul. If I'm going to foul anybody, it's going to be the 2 meters 20 guy who's a 60% free throw shooter. Well, he stepped up pretty big tonight.
Well, this is when, in times bad free throw shooters, it focuses the mind. They say, I've got, the concentration's better. Let's hope for the game's sake he makes this. Let's hope if you're a Hemofarm supporter he makes these. Well,
I was going to say, the percentages would say he'll make at least 1 out of 2. So if you can make this one, just turns the thumb screws a little bit extra on Rytas.
2 from 2 from the big boy, 61-63, 3 minutes to go. They got a shot of Milan Makban, hasn't seen any action for a second half, hasn't seen the floor. Well, they've got Pavkovic back in the game. Well, they still must have some faith in that guy's shot. Zavakis hasn't made a shot all tournament. He still hasn't made a shot all tournament. Pavkovic, what, is he going to get trigger happy now? Get the ball to Joksimovic. He's going to shoot that. Whoa! 2:22 from the foul line. Ties the game. 2:25 to go. Bobby Marjanovic with the 2. Wow, big man, you got to love that.
I'm loving this game. I'm not caring about who makes the jump, but look at this. The game is tied.
Oh, and it's a ball for Hemofarm. Turnover for Rytas. Markovic. We talked about plays, we talked about players. It's a timeout for Rytas. And we said so many times in this game, these boys, and that's all some of them are from Hemofarm, don't know when they're beat.
Well, their passport, their birth certificate says they're boys, Mark, but they're playing like men. It's been an incredible performance. They've clawed their way back through defense and big shots. Hats off to Hemofarm and Rytas. How do you adjust now?
Well, this is such a tough moment here for Coach Kurtinaitis. His team has led the game. He's probably felt in control of the game, and now he's faced with a possession that could put his team behind.
Well, you're right. We were up by 10, and the momentum is with the opposition. But now there's a minute and a bit left to play. It's a one-possession game. Somebody's going to step up and make a big play. Okay, we've got to make it in the last minute of the game instead of the first minute. But this is time for the big game players will step up now.
Well, and that's what we've talked about. You've said this all along. Eaton is that big game player for Rytas. Is it Joksimovic, or is the big boy going to be the hero?
Well, it feels like he's the hero, doesn't he? For Rytas, there's any number of players that can make the big play offensively. For Hemofarm, we're not so sure. But it's defensively I worry for Rytas, because they've not been able to stop them the last 3 or 4 times down the floor.
Well, and there's a lot of players. It'd be useful to have that foul caption up. There's a lot of players sitting here on 3 and 4 fouls. Fouls could be a real factor here. 2 minutes between one of these teams and the Eurocup final. Markovic thought about the penetration, wants another go off the pick and roll. They almost want to draw the double team. Then they're looking for the extra pass. Joksimovic, almost a mishandle. He's going to have to shoot this, and does. And it's off. 63-63, 1:45 to go in the first semi-final of the Eurocup. Chuck Eaton handles the basketball, guarded by Markovic, who tries to buy the offensive foul. Gets an elbow in the face for his trouble. Eaton flares off the screen, fakes. Looks inside, down to 5 seconds on the clock. Almost a turn, they've got to help Mindauskis, Lukauskis. Oh, my word! Oh. Lukauskas from nowhere makes the 3. Oh my God, what a play. That's why he's a legend. Joksimovic on the dribble. Puts it on the floor, Samovic stripped. It's Lukauskas with the steal this time. Ah, what a play. That's why he's known by his first name.
Mark, words almost defeat me. You know, I always get something, an incredible play. Big game players step up in big game situations, and just like that, Lukauskas with an incredible three-point shot, gets the steal, Petrevitus with the dunk, an and one situation. Wow, this game's fantastic.
Well, now the time is a factor. We've written them off so many times in this game already.
I'm not writing them up. You know, we always try to say, let's look ahead. I'm living in the moment. That was an incredible 30 seconds of basketball there. I was going to say, Hemofarm got a bad shot. Let's see what the big guy can do for Rytas, and boy, did they deliver on the 3. Then they get the steal, and then Edson threads the needle and gets Petrevitus for the and one. Just excellent basketball by the guys from Vilnius.
Well, in Lukauskas, we started the season on Eurosport 2 with him having a great night. Well, he's almost on the edge of throwing away a place in the final. As it says there, he was there the last time they won. He's almost single-handedly taken them to the final with a chance of a repeat.
Well, he was the only guy who was there the last time they won. It's funny, you play against these old veterans and you look at them, they don't jump so well, they don't run so quick. You say, what makes you so good? That's what makes him that good, Mark, and that's why they'll remember him for years to come in Lithuania.
And listen to these guys. Well, however many hours it took these guys to get to Turin, and it will be many. They're in this moment. They're loving it. Markovic finds he hasn't made a three-pointer all night, and he didn't hit anything on that one. This will probably ice the game. And there's the dunk for Joe Mantas. 70 points to 63. It doesn't. Markovic makes the 3. Oh, okay, it's not over yet. 70-66. Joe Mantas on the dribble. And there's the foul by Markovic. Wow, we're riding him off, and Markovic goes down and makes a 3.
Mark, I'm not sure my heart can take too much of this. You've got the oxygen tank outside in case this game goes to overtime, right? We're going to need it. I mean, these kids from Hemofarm, they will not lay down and die. Just when you think it's time to mail it in, they make the big 3, cut it to 4. Now look, the pressure. A steal and a basket, and this game's not done yet.
It's going to be inbound denial. Zavakas is fouled. Doesn't need the reaction. We don't need one of those double foul situations. Zavakas gets fouled.
You fouled the right guy as well, because Zavakas has not shot the ball well in this weekend, and he certainly hasn't been to the foul line yet.
Well, Zavakas is...
It's a 2-basket situation no matter what happens. So miss or make, they need 2 scores. So the important thing for Hemofarm is just, if he misses one of these and it's the second one, make sure you clear the rebounds. You've got the rebound here.
Well, Zavakas, well, he had a career night the other night. He's missed his first one tonight.
Betting if he misses this free throw, I bet you they get the offensive board. Well, okay, they've done it.
They're 5 down. Still a 2.
2-bet layup or a 2 or a 3. You haven't got to have a 3.
You need something quick. Joksimovic gets a layup. Good decision. Oh, he missed the layup. Oh, Joksimovic, the man who's dragged them back into the game, and it's all over. Petrevikas seals the win with the dunk. Rytas on their way to the FIBA Cup final.
It's so exciting, we forgot the name of the competition.
Pavkovic with the 2. Eaton throws it long. Dribble it out, Joe Mantas. Wow, what a game. Oh, well, we cannot just sit here and just relax up. What a performance by both teams. Both coaches, both sets of players should be absolutely proud of the show, the performance they have given us here on Eurosport tonight. 73-68. Lietuvos Rytas from Vilnius put Lithuanian club basketball in the final of the FIBA Cup. What a Eurocup. What a tremendous performance by both teams.
What a journey we've been on, Mark. It's been sensational, and this truly was Lithuania versus Serbia. What a taste we've got coming up for the final tomorrow. But, you know, the hats off, this competition has been sensational.
Oh, absolutely.
An absolute treat of basketball.
Well, the character of these players reflects those fans. Those fans have made the hours. They didn't care how long it took them to get here. And Rytas as a team didn't care how long it took them to get the win. They were challenged, they were taken to the edge of a defeat, and they have come up with the win that puts Rytas in the final. Now we're going to get the reaction, always difficult. Martin Beda is with Robbie. How must this man feel?
Martin, you put in a very courageous performance there, a fantastic third quarter, 24 points to 14, but at the end it must be heartbreaking just to lose, you know, at the last minute of the game.
Yes, I think the thing what we discussed in the halftime in the locker room, we did it pretty good, and we came back with the hard work. And it was about 1.5 minutes to the end. The game was tied, and they made a buzzer beater three-pointer, and then we missed on the other end, and then they made a dunk. It was 5-0. So if you don't watch the last 1.5 minutes, I think we were playing pretty good, and this is a young team. This team has a really big future. I think to make it to the semifinal, it's a really big success. But if you are so close, it's really painful to lose like this, or disappointing. But this is the end of the season. We have some other, we have the Adriatic League Final Four to play, and our regular championship. So we have to focus on that. And I think we must be proud of ourselves that we made it to the semifinal, and we made it so close to the final.
You can be very, very proud of the young team that you've actually got here. I mean, absolutely fantastic. You've put in a great performance against Dynamo. You know, there's obviously a great future, as you said, and you can take some positive things from this match, both matches, of course.
Of course, we cannot be disappointed. We cannot be sad or upset about this loss today. This is the second strongest competition in Europe. These teams, most of the players are 20, 21 years old. And as everybody could see, they are playing like mature, ready players. So I think we must be proud. Of course, we had some mistakes, so we must correct those mistakes and discuss and head up and go forward.
Martin, thanks very much for giving us some time here on Eurosport 2. We'll see you very soon. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Well, that's a remarkable interview by Martin Beda. What a great job. What a gentleman in defeat. But now we're going to get a totally different interview on the court side.
That was an amazing game. You did it again. What's the secret this time?
I don't know. I think a little bit of luck. Everybody tried to do their best. We lost a lot of power, but main factor that we believe that we can do that. So that's the result.
You had a good start of the match. Then your opponent came back. What was your problem at that moment?
I think we're a little bit tired. They lost concentration. They take a lot of offense rebounds. So the big guys make good job, and then the snipers make hard and tough shots, so they can come back. But thanks God, everything is on our side.
Those 3 points in the end that you scored were amazing. Were they crucial? Can you comment on that?
That's luck. I can't score my open shots, and all shots which I make was really hard. It's unbelievable shots. So I think luck was on our side. Thanks for that.
Third Eurocup final for the club. Third Eurocup final for you. How does that feel?
That feels good. So we are now one step from that what all of us are dreaming and fighting. So the chance is in our hands.
And who do you prefer in the final, Khimki or Bilbao?
Doesn't matter. All opponents is strong, and you cannot make a choice. Like Hemofarm make a choice. Their coaches were saying that somebody asked him which team you like, Benetton or Lietuvos Rytas. Okay, he get Lietuvos Rytas. You see what's happening.
Your fans would never stop screaming Lietuva, Lietuva. Did it help? Did it feel like home?
Yeah, it's helping a lot, and thanks for them. It is 6 players.
Thank you very much. Good luck for the final.
Thanks.
Well, that man with that three-pointer that he took at the end of the shot clock was the real deal breaker in that game. They only made 4 3-point shots, but that one shot was it.
Mark, he said it summed it up perfectly. He said, I couldn't make an open shot all night, and every time someone's hanging all over me, I nailed it. That three was the game breaker. It just wasn't just the 3 points he scored. He stole the heart out of them. But just great performance from both teams. And now, dare we start to believe that this team, Lietuvos, could have the makings of a champion.
Well, Rytas from Vilnius wins 73-68. They will face Khimki or Bilbao. Well, here are some happy pictures. They've got to do it all again tomorrow night. The final of the Eurocup tomorrow night here on Eurosport 2 with Roy Birch and Mick Bett. This is our last game of the Eurocup this year, Martin. What a great privilege it's been. We've seen some great games. We started with Rytas. Be a real appropriate for me if they were the team that ended up with the win.
I just think the best team has come through. The cream rises to the top. Use whatever cliche you like. They did the number on the home team in Benetton. They did the job done against Hemofarm. Now they've got the ultimate challenge to go for the championship. There you go. Win the cup. That's what they're after do. And they win the game and they make him Minder the MVP. That's Lukauskas.
Well, it's bye from me, Mark Clark and Martin Henlon. Enjoy the final tomorrow in Turin.
Sing